Hi, everyone. Welcome to Mini Scroll, the daily internet culture podcast bringing you the biggest stories from social media, the creator economy, and the digital space every Monday through Thursday. I'm your host, Lauren Meisner, the founder of the youth digital media brand Centennial World. Welcome back to Mini Scroll, everyone. I hope you guys had a good weekend. I actually had such a good weekend. It was the first weekend in probably 5 months that I didn't have to work on the weekend. And it was kind of life-changing, honestly. I have spent at least one full day at the office every single weekend since just the year kicked off with the craziness that it was. And yeah, I feel like I have started to get a stronger grasp on my schedule and my workflow and all of that just in time to disrupt it again. Because if you guys are longtime listeners, you know, once a year, I usually go home in either July or August. I go back to Canada and I spend about a month, like a few weeks to a month there working from Canada. And I am heading back home to Canada on Monday. So in a week's time, nothing should change with the podcast except obviously the setup. You guys are going to be seeing me. I think I'm probably just going to have to record on my bed maybe, but I'm bringing my camera, I'm bringing the tripod, I'm bringing the teleprompter for Infinite Scroll. It's going to be like a full setup. I bought a mic that I can hold, so it'll like plug directly into the camera. So I feel like the audio quality might, not be like as great as it is right now with this like whole Rode mixer and everything, but it'll still be a professional microphone plugged into a professional camera. So I am doing that. So I'm going home on August 5th. So there'll be no mini scroll August 5th or 6th because as we know, the flights from Sydney to Toronto are like 24 plus hours. So I'm going to have those 2 days off. I'll be back on Wednesday with Mini Scroll. I guess maybe that will be Thursday, but either way, like the day will be pushed, like Thursday for Australia, I mean. Anyways, there will be 2 episodes of Mini Scroll next week and a deep dive as usual. But yes, I'm really excited. My parents retired up to our cottage a few years ago. So when I go home now, it's like 2 hours north of Toronto and I'm just in cottage country on a lake and it's so beautiful and it's just like so serene. It's the exact like chill vibe I really, really need. And I was laughing so hard because TikTok gave me a memory that 1 year ago today, I was at home, like at my family cottage back home with my parents. And this was the day that James Charles launched Painted, I guess, like his beauty brand. And his launch video had me in it, like a clip from our podcast TikTok where I was talking about how like he's irrelevant and like nobody is going to buy Painted. And I was dying because I remember that day so well. I remember being home so vividly last year and like how I felt. And it was just such a different time. And all the Colleen Ballinger stuff had just happened. We just did our big deep dive into Gwen Swinarton, like Gwen Gwiz ASMR. And that was popping off. And then this James Charles thing. And it was just like, I just remember having like a lot of anxiety when I was home and like feeling like I just didn't have a lot of control over the business. And I mean, I still don't really feel in control. I don't know if you ever feel in control when you run a business, but I have a completely different business now. Like it's wild. It's just been a wild year. But yeah, so I will be podcasting from home for 3 weeks. So like the 7th or whatever, once I get there, the 7th to I believe it's like the 29th or the 30th. And then I'm going to Europe for 2 weeks because one of my best friends from high school is getting married in Tuscany. And they're doing like a joint bachelorette trip beforehand in Croatia that we're going to go to. We have a few days of just like us time traveling, whatever. And then we have the wedding and then we're going to have a couple nights in Rome and then fly back to Sydney. So I'm going to be gone for like almost 6 full weeks. And 2 of those weeks at the end, so the first 2 weeks of September, I am going to take off as a vacation. So this is your warning to backlog bank your mini scroll episodes if you want some content while I'm gone. So yes, I'm going to take the first 2 weeks of September completely off. I'm going to try and have like a proper vacation, a proper break. I really, really need it. So I'm looking forward to that. And I hope you guys understand. Okay, let's get into the stories for today. So I have 2 stories for you guys. The first one will be no surprise that I'm reporting on this. I guess I just report on all the developments on this story now, but Cody Ko and Noel Miller have released a statement amid the ongoing Tana Mongeau allegations. We've covered this on Mini Scroll so many times, like I said, over the past couple of weeks, but if you missed it, Tana Mongeau recently claimed that she hooked up with Cody Ko when she was about 16 or 17 years old and he was 25. Since then, Cody has been under pressure to respond. He stayed silent, though he did face backlash after being filmed playing Sorry by Justin Bieber during a DJ set in Las Vegas. Now, over this past weekend, Cody finally issued a statement. However, it wasn't directly addressing the allegations. Instead, it was a shared statement with Noel Miller. So Cody and Noel run a podcast network called TMG Studios. TMG stands for Tiny Meat Gang, which is the name of the podcast that they co-host. Under TMG Studios, Cody hosts his own show called Insanely Chill. Other influencers like Brooke Averick also have podcasts under the network. After the allegations surfaced, Emergency Intercom by Drew and Enya recently cut ties with the network, which I believe I reported on. I think that was last week as well. So in the statement, they started by thanking the team and their listeners for being patient. The pair then announced that Cody will be taking a step back from TMG. Quote, as we enter into this next phase of the studio, we wanted to let you know that Cody will not be involved in the day-to-day operations at TMG Studios. What has transpired over the past few weeks is a personal issue for him, and Cody wants to remove any effect this has on your professional or personal lives and the work you and other hosts have done to make TMG Studios so successful. This statement reads. They also revealed that, quote, Noel will continue to lead the team, where his top priority remains the life and growth of the studio and its talent. So while this is Cody's most public statement so far, many people feel like he didn't really do much beyond acknowledging the allegations. On top of this, many believe that he will still be associated with TMG, but mostly just behind the scenes. Now, interestingly, there's been a lot of discourse on Twitter comparing this situation to that of the Try Guys. Many users have expressed disappointment with TMG, pointing out that the Try Guys cut ties with Ned Fulmer for having an affair with a consenting adult. However, she was also an employee. Meanwhile, Cody is likely to continue profiting from and being involved in TMG despite allegedly sleeping with Tana while she was a minor. So obviously Ned and his co-worker at the time or his employee at the time, those were two consenting adults, and it was definitely like an HR issue possibly, and he was cheating on his wife. So there was a lot of like interpersonal stuff, a lot of professional stuff because he did it with an employee of the Try Guys, but at the end of the day, it wasn't like a crime, whereas what Cody allegedly did could be an alleged crime. So, you know, there are different lines there, I would say. And I think when the Try Guys did cut ties with Ned, like it was such a big deal because it felt like they took action right away and they did something that seemed a bit drastic, but it was in the name of protecting their brand, their employee. And it went over really well because they made it so public and they took action right away. And it was like steps in the right direction. And I don't know what is going to happen with TMG Studios. I don't know what's going to happen with Cody. Like this statement very much makes it sound like Cody, you know, is still a partner in TMG. He still owns it. So I don't know. We'll have to see. And there's so much discourse about like why Cody maybe hasn't addressed it. And people are like, well, he's Canadian, so maybe he's worried about his citizenship coming in. I think the simplest answer is if he comes out and says sorry, then he's essentially admitting to an alleged crime. So like, you know, I don't think we're ever going to get a statement about this in any type of like meaningful way because he's not going to admit to an alleged crime on the internet. That's my take on that. Okay, the next story that I have for you guys is I'm going to address the Ava Tyson allegations. Now, I know these allegations have been going around for about a week, and I know Mr. Beast made a statement, and I'll go through all of that in a minute, but I didn't want to address these. I wasn't going to cover it because there are just a lot of people that are using this situation for an opportunity to be transphobic, and I didn't want to empower anyone to do that. However, the alleged victim has spoken out and done an interview with Rolling Stone, so I'm going to cover it because now we have all sides to the story. I think it's an important story to cover for sure, but I want to make it clear if anyone finds this on YouTube, and it will be YouTube that rogue people will find this because it will come up in the recommended or their search or whatever. If you find this video on YouTube and you comment anything transphobic in the comments, I will just block you. Okay? Okay. So, over the past few weeks, grooming allegations have been leveled against Ava Tyson. So, if you aren't familiar with Ava, she is longtime co-host of Mr. Beast videos and has been friends with Jimmy, who is Mr. Beast, since childhood. She is also a trans woman who has been the target of discrimination since she opened up about her gender-affirming HRT journey and transition last year. Recently, Ava has been accused of sending inappropriate messages to a minor when she was 20. Over the past month, videos started circulating of messages with a user named Lava GS, who was 13 at the time. Last week, Ava took to Twitter to address the claims, apologizing for her previous behavior while also clarifying that she, quote, never groomed anyone. She also announced that she will be taking a step back from social media for her mental health and all things Mr. Beast to ensure that no one at the company will be hurt by these allegations. Quote, I would like to apologize for any of my past behavior or comments if it hurt or offended anyone. It was not my intent. Seeing recent events, we've mutually decided it's best I permanently step away from all things Mr. Beast and social media to focus on my family and mental health, she wrote. I want to add, I never groomed anyone. The person who gets brought up in these accusations at Lava GS has vocally supported that these are false. Beyond this, Ava continued by acknowledging that her previous behavior online was inappropriate. Quote, I humbly apologize to anyone I have hurt with my unacceptable social media posts, past actions, and to those who may feel betrayed by how I used to act online. To lump these two factors together to create a narrative that my behavior extended beyond bad, edgy jokes is disgusting and did not happen. Lava has corroborated Ava's statement on Twitter, writing, I am not a victim and I am not backpedaling any statements I have already made. Everything I have stated is still very true. Nothing bad happened between me and Chris. People are creating lies around my name. So Chris is Ava's dead name. In an exclusive interview with Rolling Stone, Lava, I don't know what I was just saying. I don't know if I was saying lava or lava. I think it's lava. Lava asserted that certain creators have been misrepresenting the story to further their own agendas. In the interview, Lava explained that he communicated with Ava after she had reached out and asked him to make a Discord server. This was back in 2016, so it was a fairly new platform. Quote, Chris reached out to me and saw I was making Discord for people, Lava tells Rolling Stone. He was new to it and wanted a bot that would play lo-fi study music, which isn't hard to do. Lava ended up staying in the server after it was built, where the two would continue to communicate. In the interview, Lava says that Ava was not aware of their age gap until 2018, although he, quote, couldn't remember the specific details of how it came up. Regarding the quote-unquote inappropriate conversations between the two that have recently surfaced, Lava said, quote, I was at the age where I spoke to all my friends like that. There was nothing more than that. It's how bros talk. I saw Chris as an older brother because he reminded me a lot of my older brother. Lava would then go on to work for Mr. Beast as a production assistant, with Ava helping him land the job. He later stopped working for Mr. Beast in May 2021. It has been speculated that the creators who started pushing the grooming narrative are doing so for transphobic reasons. Quote, one right-leaning creator who had thoughts about Tyson and her transition happened to be Prism42, a YouTuber with 800 subscribers who had found the messages between Lava and Tyson on 4chan, though it's unclear how they ended up there. Prism felt he needed to get the information out, so he claimed he contacted 50 creators. Stephen Asarsh writes for the Rolling Stone. Quote, Prism then contacted YouTuber Verdis, an 18-year-old with 600 subscribers, and had him reach out to Lava looking to interview him for an editor position. Verdis tells Rolling Stone he had no idea he was being set up or that Lava had anything to do with Tyson or Mr. Beast. He was just looking for an editor. On June 13th, Verdis and Prism went on to release their own video about Ava and Lava's messages, but neither reportedly included the information from Lava's interview. The video blew up a month later when Androx posted a commentary video compiling the claims, with many right-wing creators seemingly using the story to spread transphobia. So Mr. Beast also released his own statement on this last week. He wrote on Twitter, over the last few days, I've become aware of the serious allegations of Ava Tyson's behavior online, and I am disgusted and opposed to such unacceptable acts. During that time, I have been focused on hiring an independent third party to conduct a thorough investigation to ensure I have all the facts. That said, I've seen enough online and taken immediate action to remove Ava from my company, my channel, and any association with Mr. Beast. I do not condone or support any of the inappropriate actions. I will allow the independent investigators the necessary necessary time to conduct a comprehensive investigation and will take any further actions based on their findings. So a lot of people have commended Mr. Beast for making a public statement very quickly, taking action, and I agree with that. I think despite Lava's insistence that Ava, did not groom them, there's a lot of other allegations now floating around about Ava, and people are bringing up old conversations and whether Lava feels groomed or not. If the messages are inappropriate, it makes sense that Mr. Beast, as the owner of the company, where Ava and then eventually Lava were representing him, he was putting them in an environment together. Like, he would need to make sure he understands everything about the situation. So that all makes sense. Lava actually responded to Mr. Beast's tweet. He said, "I commend Mr. Beast for taking the situation seriously and hiring a third-party investigator while also taking the appropriate actions of cutting ties with Ava. While the allegations involving my name aren't true, I feel there is still a lot of other allegations that deserve to be investigated thoroughly." That's that on that. I might do a deep dive one day on kind of how early internet was like the Wild West. And I do believe that is the reason that it feels like all of our favorite creators were like quote unquote groomers or having like inappropriate relationships with minors. I think there's like a very big topic to explore there. And I don't even know if I'm really the right person to do it. I feel like I would probably need an expert online with me. But yes, just another one. Like that DJ Khaled sound, another one. All right, guys. Well, that's it for today. Thank you guys so much for listening to Mini Scroll. If you like this podcast, please rate, review, and subscribe. It helps me so much. Oh, yeah. And we also didn't make it to 5,000 subscribers on YouTube, obviously. Unfortunately, we're not that far off, but we didn't make it. So maybe we'll make it by the end of the week. All right. Anyways, thank you guys. I love you, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.